Alright guys, big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. You're with D-Boy. I'm here for you guys to talk about the big issue in the current format. Like, people are going crazy about Zazan, about the new Oracle Think Tank deck, about how it will affect our format. In this video, we asked you on Facebook if you guys want to hear our thoughts. Because we are Team Crushing the Meta, we actually look at these kind of situations differently. When me, JJ, Varian, other from our team see something, the first thing we see is the combo. We try to analyze the situation, and after that we think, what are the ways to beat it? And the thing that made Zazan be hated in the current premium gonna be format is that when people saw the Oracle Think Tank deck, right? Because before they saw the Oracle Think Tank deck, Zazan was alright, because Zazan was already a week revealed, and me, Varian, especially us two, were really trying our best to create some nice interactions with cards from V, cards from G, with Zazan. So you're mixing everything, you're being creative, and there was no crazy combo. We didn't hear of any crazy combo until Amaterasu was revealed. Then we had the combo. The combo was pretty much, you have the Zazan give you GB1, calls create elementals from your hand, flip Cyclone. Then you have the cat reveals 3 Amaterasus. Amaterasu will be like, okay, your Vanguard get now crit, he gains more power, and your Zazan pretty much attacks for 38 and he does 4 damage. And that's not all, because you still have Rare Guards, that Rare Guards attack for even more, because you could activate 2 Zazans, because now the cat would also go to Soul, so you have more Soul. So all in all, that was bullshit, right? People saw that in action, people saw that in some videos on YouTube, and people went like, we don't want to play that format. You are giving us a lot of standard plus decks, so we could play premium, but we don't want to play premium. We don't want to play Zazan format. So yeah, that was the trigger that activated a lot of people. Then we, as I said, we from Crushing the Meta analyzed the situation. When you talk about this deck pretty much plays 4 Zazan, 4 cats, and all out vanillas. If you don't draw your Zazan, the deck will not work. If you don't draw the cats, the deck will work half, let's say. You will have a vanilla deck with a lot of strong attacks. So is it that consistent? It's alright. I mean, it's not consistent, otherwise it would not go that much often, that it would not go off. But one very important fact people are forgetting: how about if you have a Perfect Guard or the Nuke Rock Crane Elemental? If you have those in hand, then you pretty much could defend yourself against that turn, which means you will not get 4 damage right away, and after that your opponent would just play vanilla deck with a lot of power. But that's it. That's it. That's all they could do. They don't have that much defense. That's all they have, is some vanillas in hand, which some of them have good defense, but some don't. So pretty much, if you ask me personally, I would say test this deck. I mean, put this deck against other deck. Not itself, no. Other deck that is complete from this format or the upcoming format, and test them against each other. And play 10 games, right? 10 whole games. And then if this deck wins 5 of the 10 games, then it's a 50% winning rate. That's alright. That's a tier 2 or a tier 3 deck. If it wins 60 or 70%, so 6 or 7 matches, then you would say, hey, it's very strong, very effective. It's still not tier 0. It needs to win like 9 or 10 games to be tier 0, right? If it's not tier 0, okay, test even more. Test 20 games, 30 games, 40 games, 100 games to get that percentage. And if you don't have a 58 something or higher percentage, then it's not a tier 0 deck, which would mean there is no problem. The combo exists, it's crazy, but there is no problem. So let's talk about what everybody is saying about the format, like about the upcoming premium format. They say there is FTK potential because of Zazan. They say the format is getting less creative. Decks are getting less creative. Why? because everybody will just play vanillas, right? And everybody will just add Zazan to the deck. If everybody is playing Zazan, you're not being creative. Okay, that's not all. People are also saying that the decks are losing their identity because you're playing pretty much all vanillas. Also, you're promoting bad players because they could just play vanillas, put everything on the field and attack with it, and they still destroy you because they're just playing vanillas and they're not even that good, but doesn't matter because they could kill you because they're only vanillas. And last thing, which is most important thing, people are saying, you play Zazan or you will never top. So all of that, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of those ideas, those videos that we saw, everything on online, on social media. Let's talk about the cards by themselves and see how they will affect the format. And as I said I just said like 2 minutes ago, if you want to know if the deck is tier 0, that you would be this angry about it, we need results. Without results, without the deck being tier 0, destroying everything, topping every tournament, there is no problem. If people want to play a troll deck like this, be my guest, just play it, enjoy it, have fun. Alright, we have seen this in the past, right? When we see something crazy, we see something very strong, without results, we go. And these are some examples. First example is the Dimensional Police GB8. The GB8, when first it was revealed, people went crazy because it pretty much had a lot of crits, a lot of power, but some of us said, it doesn't have barrier break, you could still stop it, right? And the thing is, you did. It was not the most played or scary GB8s of them all. Actually, the one who was most played was the one from Grand Blue and the one from Spike. But the ironic thing is the one from Grand Blue is just so simple, but it was very effective. And of course, after that, it was replaced with some other strikes that did the same, or did it easier, or did it before, and it's still good. And we have another example, which is pretty much Bustard. Bustard was a card from the Premium Collection 2019. People went crazy about Bustard. Bustard will top every tournament. Bustard will be tier 0. Bustard this, Bustard that. And then after that, Katrina, Oracle Think Tank. They did better. Not Bustard. Bustard never even... He saw a lot of plays, but he didn't really get the opportunity to destroy tournament results. He didn't. Maybe he won a few, but he didn't do that much. And now it's just a card in their arsenal, which is very good, it's very strong. I'm not hating these cards, I love these cards. But I'm just saying that we sometimes jump to conclusions before we see results. And this is what I'm trying to explain right here. All of these decks that you could see on the screen, Deleter, 7 Seas, NLK, Katrina, Gold Paladins, all decks that came so close to be tier 0 but didn't. The only deck that pretty much came actually and became tier 0 in my eyes was Time Leap in the G era. And the reason is the deck overall was very strong. It has better G Guardians, it had like the Melem Loop, it got a lot of pluses, you attacked more and you got more pluses. So overall the deck was very good. But all of these decks, again, Deleter, 7 Seas, NLK, Katrina, Neonectar, Vanilla Rush, and Golds with the Spear Ride before the ban list, all of these decks, we have seen them, we have played against them, and we beated them. So what does Zazan do? When we talk about the Oracle Think Tank deck, is Zazan really the issue? Is the Oracle Think Tank this strong because of Zazan? Or are there another problem? If you ask me, my answer is still the same. The Cats, the Grade 0, is the problem. Why is it the problem? Because that card should have never said choose 3 cards with the same card name, or any 3 cards. But it should say choose 3 cards with different card names. Because even before it was banned as a starter and you could just play it, if you would give your opponent no damage, so they cannot use like their let's say their GB2 skill or just GB1 skill of the Stillwater, right? Because if you G-guarded once, then you could go to Stillwater, and then you could use her own skill by counterblasting one, soul blasting one, flipping herself, and then you have GB3. If you don't want to give them that, if you don't want to give them GB3, then you didn't give them counterblast. And then they would just use their starter and show you 3 Bobos, and they say, hey, which Bobo do you want to add into the hand? Because it doesn't matter. They could do that with Silent Tom. Show you 3 Silent Toms. They already have 1 in hand. Show you 3. Say, hey, which Silent Tom do you want me to add to the hand? So that's the stupid thing. Is the card pretty much could give you any card from your deck to your hand right away, as long as you have 3 or more copies of it in your deck. And that was the issue that I had with that card. I said that the card is a bad designed card because it should never say of the same card name or whatever you want. It should just get an errata which said 3 cards with different card names. And if you do that, then you're already making this Oracle Think Tank deck less effective. But even if you don't do that, it's still not that tier 0-ish, right? If we don't see it topping every tournament, then it's alright. But again, if you ask me, the problem with that deck is not Zazan. What does Zazan do to the format? Zazan makes actually the format more creative. And then you would say, yeah, but how about vanilla decks? Well, still, it's a different playstyle that we haven't seen before, but we have seen a similar one, like the Katrina Token Rush. Still almost the same. But if Zazan does not give you a broken combo, which I couldn't find one in Spike, there is some really good combos, but it's not broken, it's not OP, it's not tier 0. And Varian couldn't find in Grand Blue, and I looked at Kagura, I looked at Nuba, I looked at different clans that I have myself, and there is none. And again, until the Amaterasu Grade 3 was revealed, before that, everybody in the world was testing Zazan, and we have seen very strong decks, but we haven't seen a broken combo until we have this 3 cards combo. So, if it's up to me, then I would say, let it be. But if it's up to you guys, you would say, nah, just take the starter out of take Zazan. I don't think that Zazan should be taken out this early. Its card is just revealed, we haven't even seen it played yet, and you guys want to take it out, right? So I say take Zazan, be creative with the deck, try to put those GB1 skills in there, mix them with those V cards, mix them with your current deck, and just have a lot of fun with it. As long as there is no tier 0 deck, we should be alright. There are some issues though with Zazan, because if you say, hey D-boy, if you say it's all sunshine and rainbow, why do you have a background which is raining? And why is Zazan crying? Why is he being sad? Well, there are some issues with the vanilla deck. The issues are that in the card game like Cardfight Vanguard is different than Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or other card games. The difference thing is that the number of the attacking number, like the power of your units, still cannot be mirror forced or denied, or I'm talking like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering scenarios, where you have cards like magic cards, trap cards, or stuff like that, who could like deny or griffin your attack in the early game or in the late game, or it doesn't really matter. And in Vanguard, some clans have that, like Denial Griffin again, but it's normally in the later game, it's not in the early game. So we have cards like the new Rock Elemental that could guard in the early game, but that's pretty much everything we could do. We could guard against those attacks. But if those numbers gain insanely high, if you could get 2 Cyclone turned face up in the early game, which is not that hard to do, as long as you have Soul and you have Vanillas in your hand to call, then you pretty much each column will get an extra 20k, right? Because if you have Vanillas, then it's 20k. And if you have a 12k boosted by the 8k, that's already 20, and then you get extra 20, you're attacking for 40k. 40k is not a healthy number in the early game. This is something that was actually, it was the idea of Glacian, Robin. He said, well, I don't know if that's healthy. And we said that before, right? If these decks will become better than the decks with skills, then you're pretty much then the game will reach a certain point where it's not good, right? Because vanilla decks should be good, should be fun, should be like for people that don't really play the game that often or don't really know what they're doing, just get in there and have fun and enjoy the game and destroy your opponent and make your opponent's life miserable. It should be alright as long as you have an out against them. If you don't, if those numbers attack for 40, then the next turn they attack for 50, and then they stride and they attack again, and they could restand those Vanguard because they play Nova Grapplers or whatever, then it's not, that's not healthy. That's some crazy bullshit right there, and then that's when we draw the line. Even us crushing the meta, we draw the line. So vanilla decks should be equal or less good than other decks, although it's still up to the player. All of that being said, we have analyzed everything, we have talked about everything, and still my own opinion is when I see a crazy combo, when I see a vanilla deck, when I see something that's going insane, the only thing I could think of is how could I beat this? I do not say you should ban this and ban that and do this and do that. No, just start by yourself. See, how could you beat this? What could you do to beat this? We should adapt to the situation. You say, I don't want to play Crane Elementals in my deck. I don't want to play the Rock Crane Elemental. I don't have space. Well, that's your own decision, and when you lose against these high attacks, it's your own decision and your own fault. You need to adapt to the situation. We don't like change. I love change. Most people don't. They don't like change. Well, when we got the Progenitor Dragons, something did change. When we got the Zeros Dragons, something was changed. And when we got the G-Guardians, the same thing. And now we are getting a new mechanic. If the mechanic is called Cyclones Zazan, if it's called Tempest Cyclone Zazan, if it's called Vanilla Deck, whatever it's called, we need to adapt to the situation. So those are our thoughts. We from Crushing the Meta actually talked about this for about 4 hours, like on Discord, and there were a lot of things. I made a lot of notes, but as I said, our conclusion was we need results to see how good this is. If we don't, then it should not bother us. But there are two issues. If the vanilla decks at a certain point will get better than the normal decks, then that's insanely stupid, and that's when we draw the line. Still, what do you call a vanilla deck, right? If it's a deck that is mixed with a lot of cards from G and some vanillas, it's not a vanilla deck. It's a right mix. You still need to have the right balance. The deck still has some consistency issues. So again, all in all, I think we will be alright. Alright guys, that was all for us. That was all for Crushing the Meta. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you have calmed down a little bit and just see everything is changing around you, and sometimes change is a good thing, sometimes it's not. Let's see what this will do to our format. Again, thanks for watching guys, until next time.